Hey guys, welcome into the podcast. This is the Area Date. My name is Kelly. I'm your host, and look at that sunrise. Sunrise in Sausalito, California. I just came back from Sausalito, and I wanted to share with you some of the highlights of our trip. We stayed at the Gables Inn, and this is the lobby. As you come in, this is where you will check in. Sometimes if you come in at night, if you're not, there's not someone at front, they'll have your keys and your necessities taped to the front door. Very small parking lot. Land in Sausalito, and mostly in California, is at a premium. So if you like parking close and don't have to walk to the hotel, I suggest that you govern yourselves accordingly. The later you stay out in the evening, the more likely it is for those 6 or 7 parking lots to be full when you get back. Here is a walk outside of our hotel. As you can see right in front, there's a slope. Most of Sausalito, San Francisco area, of course, is on a slope, but it is beautiful. It's beautiful. Just be prepared if you do walk down to what's considered downtown Sausalito. You will have to traverse this hill back. Obviously, you can do Uber and other things unless you're driving, but we parked many days and we walked. And what a beautiful walk it was. This particular hotel, the Gables Inn, which is what we're concentrating on this video talking about, is located at 62 Princess Street. That's 62 Princess Street. And it was worth the stay. We stayed in room 303. That means we were upstairs and we were able to see the bay. This is what our room looks like. It was a king bed and it was very spacious. It was absolutely spacious. We had plenty of closet space. We were very pleased with the restroom. We were very pleased with the cleanliness of the room. We were just very pleased with the room in general. Now, I'm going to give you the pros and the cons of this particular room. One of them is you saw as the video came on, which was our view to the bay, because every room in this 13 room, I don't want to even call it a hotel. I'll call it an inn because it's not a B&B. It's not a hotel. It's an inn. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because we didn't have certain things we would have in a hotel. For example, we didn't have a refrigerator in the room. Okay, we didn't have a refrigerator in the room. There wasn't a safe in the room. There were limited outlets, and they were in really odd places. So just kind of be aware of that because many times people like to bring food back to the room, and there's not a refrigerator. There's not an ice maker. There's not a microwave. This is an inn, and many of these facilities in Sausalito and California, period, I think, in this area, they were a little dated, which adds to the decor and to the reason you want to come. So just be aware. The other thing is for Sausalito, it doesn't get really cold. I'm sorry, really hot. So they don't have central air. Okay, here's the restroom. As you can see, it was very clean, very spacious again. But the hotel itself only has heat. So sometimes during the winter, it can get kind of cool. But summertime, it's not really hot. So they don't have central air. So if you use the central air, just be aware that there's no central air. Now, for our room, we did choose to have service every day. So every day we came back, the niceties were completed. The bed was made. We had new towels. We had new toiletries. You name it. It was first class. The shower pressure, the water, everything was great. Everything was great. The staff was really nice. I would recommend it, given what I've said about it previously in terms of not having a ceiling fan or central air and things like that. Just be aware. Just be aware. Where we were located, talking about air, we were, sort of midway up the mountain there, and you were able to open your doors to the balcony, which we had a beautiful balcony, of course, and the air could circulate through. Now, here's where you enter. When you entered in this room, again, this room 303, we climbed the stairs and came up into our room. The room was secure. There was a key entry for the hotel, and of course, there was a lock on the door. I think all in all, I really would recommend out of five. I probably give this this inn rather a four, maybe 4.5. The people were very friendly and very welcoming and very willing to help. We wanted directions to different places like wineries and activities, and everybody was very helpful. Outside in the front is a little garden area if you decide that you want to sit outside and have, small little eating area. You can have that. This is again a view from our window, one of our windows to the bay. Now, let's say you did come in, it was cold. There's a fireplace there. And right across from us, these are other rooms. So be advised, these are other rooms in the inn. So again, there's only 13 rooms. Some of them face the bay, some of them don't. So we're kind of facing each other. And for a few days, no one was there. But 1 or 2 days, folks were there. So the Gable Inn is in Sausalito. This is across the bay from San Francisco. If you drive over to San Francisco, over the Golden Gate Bridge, you're only about 6 miles from the Palace of Fine Arts and about 7 miles from the Ghirardelli Square. Okay? Just kind of give you a sense of where this is. When you check in, you will have complimentary wireless access to the internet. There's cable programming for entertainment. There's bathrooms, showers, bathtubs, complimentary toiletries. There's hair dryers. There's coffee. There's tea. You have a coffee and tea maker in your room along with the iron and ironing board. Okay? No pets are allowed. Sorry, guys. No pets are allowed. This is also a smoke-free property. There is also a charge for parking. That's $20 a day. Also, they don't have any cribs or rollaway beds, so be aware of that. But what a beautiful view. This is what I woke up to every morning. Both double doors are open here, and this is what I went to bed to at night. You can't beat it. It was just beautiful. Now, one day, interestingly enough, fog rolled in to the bay, and you can, because from this site, this vantage, you can see San Francisco. You can see the Bay Bridge, not the Golden Gate, but you see the Bay Bridge. But the fog rolled in, we couldn't see anything. I wanted to give you a couple different views of our balcony. So we really enjoyed this inn, the Gables Inn, and certainly would recommend it. In the area, there's a lot of things to do: golfing, kayaking, sailing. There's a lot of food and a lot of shopping, and we're going to talk about that in detail a little later. Also, we're going to create separate videos to talk about what we did while we were on the trip in San Francisco. Like now, we're walking on Fisherman's Wharf. If you've never heard of it, Fisherman's Wharf is down by the bay, and there's lots of activities there. Food being primarily one of them. There's shopping, there's dining. This used to be the area where fishermen would come in and sell their wares, their produce, etc. And it's just kind of been renovated into a touristy spot. There are parks there. We saw people down at the beach swimming, although it was kind of cool. But I guess if you live out there, you're used to it. We saw picnics. We saw pretty much everything, from McDonald's all the way to upscale type of dining in this area. Now, San Francisco, of course, is known for a few things, the Golden Gate Bridge being one. But number two, I would say, is sourdough bread. So the restaurant that we're walking up to now is called Boudin, and it is very highly recommended, although I didn't eat there because I'm plant-based and there's a lot of things that I could not eat. Being this close to the water, though, there were numerous seafood restaurants. And where we're walking now, see that sign? Pier 39. Pier 39 is one of the more popular areas here in San Francisco. It kind of gives you a universal walk feel. If you've ever been in California or in Orlando, there's a universal walk next to the studios. Now, here's the beach I talked to you about. You can see some of the folks out there swimming. This is right across from Ghirardelli Square. We're going to talk more about that in a separate video when we're just going to talk about food and activities around the Bay Area. Now, this is a little bit more detail in Ghirardelli Square. You walk up the square and you can see they're all ready to go for the fall. This was a beautiful area. More than Ghirardelli, there are restaurants and different shops in the square. One disappointing thing for me was I thought we were going to be able to take a tour and do a whole lot as it relates to Ghirardelli because this is the original Ghirardelli location. And they had about 2 or 3 stores there, but I didn't see a place where you could take a detailed, look into their operation or take a tour. And if there is there, we must have missed it. Now, this is Chinatown. Again, we're going to do a detailed walkthrough on what we thought about some of the activities around Chinatown and the other places that we saw. Here is Muir Woods. Muir Woods is about 25 miles north of Sausalito. It wasn't a bad drive, although I will tell you if you're a little nervous when it comes to heights and things like that, there's a lot of heights to get to Muir, and also when you're walking around the trails. The trails that you see here, these are all redwoods here in California. They were great, but there was some elevation on some of the trails, and there was not always railing. That's the piece I want to make you aware of. So if you're considering bringing small kids, I would stay sort of on the flat ground. Once you start getting up to some of the elevation, it gets a little tricky because some of the areas are pretty steep as it relates to drop off. Now, driving there, here's the other thing you need to know. Be unaware in terms of the exit. It'll say Muir Woods, M-U-I-R Woods. You also need to have a reservation before you go. That's a ticket reservation to enter the park, and also a ticketed reservation for parking as well. I think it costs us about $39 total for 2 adults and parking to get into the park, so it's not super expensive. I would recommend you get there early because as we were leaving, there were a lot of folks coming. Getting there early means that it'll be a little cooler and there'll be a lot less people. And I think you'll enjoy this much better with a fewer amount of people. And again, I'm going to go into greater detail in a separate video. So just once you get finished looking at this video, just pop over and take a look at the activities for the San Francisco area. One of our favorite activities was the Point Bonita Lighthouse. This was about 7 miles from us in Sausalito. This was on the way to the Golden Gate Bridge, and you can see the Golden Gate from here if the fog's not rolled in. And this was one of my favorite activities. Again, if you have a strong consideration about heights and or about tight spaces, I want you to be aware that there are 3 bridges here. The elevation is about 150 to 160 feet high, depending on where you are in certain places. And I have reservations on both of these, but I was able to do it. So hopefully you'll be able to do it too. The tunnel is not very long. And, I'm 6 foot. I was able to get through it with relative ease. If you're taller than that, I think you want to watch your head. All in all, this was a foggy day. This part of the suspension bridge was probably the most challenging, but we made it safe, and it was certainly worth the visit. So don't go and if you're super afraid of heights, but all of this was free. There was no charge to go to the lighthouse. Now, as we left Muir Woods, we went down to 2 different beaches, Muir Beach, and we went to a place called Black Sand Beach as well. And it was beautiful, as you can see. There were a lot of homes in the area that overlooked the cliff into this wonderful, wonderful Pacific Ocean. It was just beautiful. So I highly recommend when you leave Muir Woods, if you want to just relax and just chill out, head on over. It literally was about 4 miles from Muir Woods, the beach that is. And take your shoes off, walk into the dark black sand there. and it just was a wonderful addition to our day. There is a missile silo in the area. You'll see an old retired Army base, and I think it's being used for wildlife and different things now. I did see part of it was a YMCA. We saw a lot of kid groups out there. I assume they were being taught about, natural, resources and being able to be responsible with the area. Other activities, we went down into the city yet again, and close to Fisherman's Wharf is a terminal building. Inside the terminal building are shops and eateries. I think it's worth a visit if you like wine, if you like food, if you just like to hang out and just see things. The terminal building is closer to the Bay Bridge, and it's close to the ship pier where you would load a ocean vessel in case you were going on a cruise. But this is what it looks like on the inside. As I said, we're going to do a few more videos, and we're going to concentrate on the food in the area as well as the activities and different things that you can do. We're going to give you prices and locations all from Sausalito. Okay, so this video mostly is about the hotel, to give you the insight on the hotel and in the area. I hope you have enjoyed it. We certainly had a great time going, and again, I highly recommend a trip. Sausalito is a beautiful little town, a beautiful village, and often overlooked. But hopefully you'll consider going. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you.